Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Alan Moore's Fragrance Reviews. On today's video guys, I've got 14 uh, of my Middle Eastern fragrances I've got in my collection. Right, now it's going to take all day for you to watch, briefly run through each one. I won't be giving all the notes so just get a brief idea what they smell like and what to expect. Okay guys, so I've got 14 of the Middle Eastern fragrances, and please, if you're thinking of changing your nose up, these come from the Middle East and not like a Calvin Klein or something like that. Then you obviously you'll be missing out on fragrances that could last you a long time and give you great projection and longevity. Right. So see after the intro, and I'll show you what I've got. Some cracking fragrances, guys. Trust me. Come back. Come on in. Let me show you what I've got today for you. Right. Now, as I said, I'll be running through them briefly. There's quite a lot to get through, and so I'll give you some idea. What we've got. And so these are a lot of the Middle Eastern fragrances going for a carry on. Them inspired by fragrances more so than direct copies. If you look at the note breakdown on Fragrantica, side by side with different fragrances I mentioned on here, you will find subtle differences. Okay, so they're not 100% clones of each other. Okay, so a lot of them based on famous fragrances you see as I'm going through, and I'll give you some idea. Now, just before we start, I've got four Rasasi fragrances in here. Now, Rasasi, in my opinion, are really like powerhouse fragrances. All the ones I've bought are really good with projection, longevity, and very popular. And so these have, I'll start with them four first and get them out the road and give you an idea when to wear them and what to expect. Okay, guys, so let's start the show off. This one here, Daresh from Rasasi. Right, brilliant, fantastic. Got a lovely sweet aroma about this. It's done in such a nice way, right? And it's really good. It's got a nice sweet smell about it. Don't think of a smell like John Paul Gaultier. Think of a lot of sweet. But you look little mini fruit mixed jelly fruits and different stuff like that. That's what you get with it. It's mixing with all the other notes. Which is a fragrance that's sweet, but it's done different from what they do in the West. But it's fantastic. Smells lovely. Wore this at work, really good. Last on your skin for a good many hours. That's the first one. Dore from Rasasi. Double thumbs up from me. Now this one is another big seller in that part of the world, the Middle East and Asia and stuff like that, Bangladesh, India. And it's called Shura. Pour on for men. Now this is again sweet, like that one, right? But different. It's like a lot of different notes because it's got a smokiness to it. This. It's got like this, it's working your way through the fragrance. You'll notice a smokiness coming into it. Now imagine that mixed with all the sweet notes, and there's a lot of florals. Right, this is where the sweetness comes from, not sweet from florals, but it's done in a good way. It's still very masculine. You know what I mean? Very sweet, but it's different from the first one I showed you. Last easy on your skin again. It'll last you all through your work day. If you work an 8 hour shift, you'll still smell that when you come home. Now this one, wide a warning, right? Just be careful on the sprays. The same as that one I just showed you before. Shooter as well. Too many sprays will choke people out around you. This one is La Roquan, and this is their Tom Ford Tuscan leather. This is their take on it. Got a nice raspberry and leather note up top. Smell brilliant. And it just settles down to a nice leather fragrance. After about 10 minutes, the raspberry disappears, and you're left with this like nice leather note. And my old man gave me a compliment on that, and he's 83. Don't know a lot about fragrances, but he smelled on me once and gave me a compliment for that one. But now this one, years ago they used to have, they would like a 24, like a gold bottle with 24 on it. It's like an oud fragrance with vanilla in and stuff. Very famous fragrance, hard to get out of now, the original formula. When that came out, I was watching a video Ashton did today. I found that out a bit watching that. So I've learnt this off Ashton. Thanks, Ashton. This was bought out by Latafa. This is Ragbar, and it was bought out to be an alternative to the 24 oud with the gold bottle, right? And so This was bought out as an alternative for people to buy yourself a lot of fragrances. Now I had this cheap off a market close where I live. It cost me £15 and you get a little body spray with it as well. And this is very sweet fragrance again, done by the Middle East. It's like like a sugar note, but it smells more like a burnt sugar, more so than like just sugar on its own. And it's got a nice sweet, you like sweet fragrance, which I do love. I am a sweet fragrance kind of guy. I love that. I'll wear that, no problem. In fact, I got one from Louis Cardin, right, the French designer, and very similar. That's like a chocolate and candy flossy kind of smell. And you wear that as a layering technique with that. It smells fantastic. Okay, now moving on to another Lattafa now. And this one, I've got it in its holder. It's got like a cylinder fits over the top of it. And this is Quaid by Lattafa. Nice gold bottle there, look. And this, remember Dunhill Icon, the absolute version, the gold bottle. That's, look, you can tell by the bottle, look. I tried to copy that. It's got incense and different stuff in there. And it's got a nice dark, rosy, warm kind of fragrance, ideal for wearing autumn and winter. You might want to walk out somewhere, put a nice overcoat on, and you're having a walk around, stick a scarf on your gloves and go for a walk and just sit down. It's brilliant. It's lasting the air quite ages, ages, lasting your skin a long time as well. It's another good addition to a Middle Eastern line of your fragrances. It'll serve you well through all the winter months, especially as it gets colder. It's one of them fragrances cut through the air. Now this one is based on another Tom Ford fragrance, and this is Ooh 24 Hours by Ardell Zaffaran. And this one is based on Black Orchid. And I have smelled both of them, and it just smells very much like it. But this is the easiest way to describe it. This is more maybe daytime wear, where the Tom Ford's more darker and richer. It'll be suit better to nighttime going out. This you could wear it going out in the daytime as a casual scent, and it still gives you that sense of the Black Orchid's vibe about it. And it's it's very close. I won't say it again. It's not 100% because there's subtle differences again, like I mentioned at the start of the video. So that one, big thumbs up for me again. Okay, guys, now we're going on to a couple of tobacco fragrances now. A lot of guys like tobacco fragrances, masculine notes again. And this one is Tobacco Myth. This is based on the Carolina Herrera fragrance. The bottle looks exactly the same, just the change the name. If you look at their bottles, more or less exactly the same colour and everything. Now, for the price I pay for this, guys, this is one of my pickups of the year. Fantastic. If you like a tobacco fragrance, I can smell it now. It's that masculine and pungent, and it's beautiful, dark. It's ideal this time of year, especially if it starts getting a bit cooler. I've wore this at work. I've had compliments off people at work with I've wore this, and you can tell this is going to be a success now because the prices are starting to go up on eBay. You know what I mean? Because it's becoming more and more popular. Bugler's Amen, the tobacco fragrance faded. That's been discontinued now. It's hard to get out of, you know. So this one, right, has started to become a bit more popular now amongst people who like tobacco fragrances. So the price is starting to creep up a little bit. So get it while you can. It's think of it as a pipe tobacco fragrance more so than another clown. Think of a leather pouch full of tobacco, and as you open, you get that aroma. Right, that's what it smells like. It's different from the other one. The one I'm about to show you now is based on a Tom Ford one again, which is known by thousands now, is the Tobacco Vanille. And this is by Cheruto. And again, I've smelled clowns of these. This is just the Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. That's what it smells like. So, another good fragrance, guys. That's two good tobacco scents we got. Moving on to this one now. This is Arm Off Craze. Right, so and see that look. This is anything about this bottle I don't like is the build quality is rubbish. That just broke off a few weeks ago and I just left it like that now. This happened to Ashton on telly, it's happened to me when I was making a video ages ago. But the smell inside, he is like Pegasus from Parfum de Marly. It smells fantastic. Lasts ages on your skin. Yeah, this is an arm off product. Like you've done Club de Nuit Intense Man, they've done the same thing with this one. And it smells very good, very close to the original. But again, just remember, a little bit slightly different. This is the other Brassace. Sorry about that. It was at the back. I didn't see. And this is a wasp, and this is an all good round all year. You can wear this any time of year. Although it's brilliant in the summer, it's got an aquatic vibe to it, and it's got like a nice summery aquatic feel. But it's that powerful. It lasts ages on your skin as it starts changing into the mid and the base. It starts to be more contemporary for colder weather. So the opening's very fresh, stays around for ages, and as it starts to, after a few hours, comes out, you'll get the more darker notes in there and open it through into the autumn winter months. But that is still good this time of year. And now we're moving on to Afnan now. Right, I've had these a few weeks now. This one, this is Oudin Supremacy, or Supremacy New, should I say? Get it right. This is based on BR540, and it's lovely. I've got the Mancera over there, the Instant Crush. I put a thing out on Instagram not so long back, and most of the people who tune into or follow my page was choosing the Instant Crush, but this is still a very good fragrance. Last stage, it's like a beast on your skin. It's like a nuclear power. This one's got, last ages, and so it is very good. And the Mancera is very good. It's more rounded. It is more, but this as an alternative for the price you pay for this and the Mancera, this is probably getting just above half price for the Mancera on our boat. Or maybe just below. Some discounters. And the other half now I bought was this. I got this as we said to the day today, so I'll spray some on skin for you. It's the Supremacy Not Only Intense, and it's a clone of Aventus and Nishane Ashtavat. It's got that vibe about it, more so than a direct clone of, Aventus. It's mixed between the two. And again, another nuclear beast kind of fragrance. It has got that Aventus vibe about it though, and it projects for like a monster for ages, lasts on your skin for ages. And this is what I'll cry out for sometimes with a lot of fragrances is something that's got staying power, something that's got last year projected, so you'll get people smelling what you're putting on. Because at the end of the day, we like to not just wear fragrance for ourselves, which is the main important thing first or foremost. But if somebody gives you a compliment, don't tell me you don't like it. Or you don't think, well, I don't like that because I used it. You think, oh, that was nice. Somebody else smelt that fragrance I was wearing. So we all appreciate now and again a fragrance. You don't wear things like that just to gain fragrance. I understand that. But at the same time, if somebody gives you a compliment, you're wearing something nice. We're not going to turn them compliments down, are we, guys? We all love a nice compliment now. Whether it's not you bought a watch, whether you got some nice clothes on, you had a tattoo, different things, anything. It could be anything, couldn't it? But we do like to have a compliment. I mean, I've got good friends on Instagram. We talk quite regular. Grant, my mate, on there, we talk regular. And I know Grant, he likes to wear fragrances for himself first. And I understand that, that's fantastic. And the most of us would agree with that, but I'm saying, I'm sure Grant would agree. Once you do get a compliment off somebody, it's a nice thing to think somebody's, smelled that fragrance to compliment you on it. And so I think that's a good thing as well. But now, moving on to this one now, is the alternative to Jean Paul Gaultier Ultramale, and this is 9am by Afna. And I had this on my centre today yesterday, and I love Jean Paul Gaultier Ultramale, another sweet fragrance, guys. And it's not an exact copy. I have checked them out on Fragranted again, like I like to do research. And the only difference is where the Jean Paul Gaultier uses pear, they use apple in the opening notes, but you wouldn't tell the difference. I've worn both, but I find it hard to detect pear and apple. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to say that because we all ate pears and apples. But when you smell it alongside all the other notes mixing with it, it's harder to pick out the individual notes like that. I'd find it hard, and I couldn't come on here and lie to you and pretend I do know how to do that, so I just don't. And so that is a very good copy. And this is 100 ml as well. And this is, I've had this on work. It's started to work its way down the bottom because it's that popular. I just love the smell of it. You know, the ultramalt DNA and everything. It smells just like it. And I love that fragrance. I've still got John Paul Gaultier fragrances on there. I'm planning adding more of the Lamal flankers to my collection. So I do love that way. But, you know, at the same time, I'm not going to knock that down because it's come from the Middle East. It smells so good. You know, this is new to me and it scares me a little bit because this is like an oud fragrance. And this is not like dipping your toe in. This is the stuff that slap you around the face. You know, this is Midnight Oud. It's based on Interlude Man. Now, I'm getting to sniffing the cat more so than spraying. I've not worn it yet properly. Because not everybody, and you can smell it, it's that pungent from the cap there and even smelling it. But I will spray it. My wife will kill me after. Stinking about bedroom out. And your first spray it, it's got this like a woody, oudy kind of smell about it. But then as it starts to change, you get this like sweetness about it. I'm a bit worried if I put it up, people are going to go, oh, yeah, I've got on. Do you know what I mean? That's how there's part of it that puts me off. But it's based on the Amouage Interlude Man. And I've watched other reviewers say, you know, it's not a bad copy, it's not an exact copy, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. You know, and I thought, well, that'll do me. I do like to add a Middle Eastern fragrance now and again. And I'll dip my toe in it and I'll took the plunge. It only cost me about £15. Yeah, and it just smells so good. But like at the same time, can I be brave enough to put it on skin? I think what I might have to do is do a video and do it there and there. And just, you know, be brave. And then just put myself out there to be criticised later. My wife can be critical on some of the fragrances I wear. I'm sure I'm bound to have an earful of in my ear doing all this about that fragrance is too strong, what the bloody hell you put on. You know what I mean? We're getting all that off. You know what I mean? So that's it for me. Go and enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys, and I'll see you next weekend. All the best. Bye now.